The weather has been so amazing this week that I have got in plenty of sunbathing time, and but yeah, it's really good. In fact, it feels just as warm here as it did in LA, which is crazy considering it's supposed to be a lot hotter over there. But anyway, I'm trying to make the most of it. But yeah, it still brings up this whole massive dilemma as to whether or not I go back to work. I there are perks to massage. Some of my clients are decent, some of them are nice. Um, but yeah, the downside is that a lot of them just get horny and just are coming because they're attracted to me, and I don't like being really around people that are like that. To be honest, it's fine if I keep it on a sort of professional level and like just ignore positive comments that they say. But yeah, I'm on one hand, I have enough money. Like I've got about 50,000, and that's enough money to like because I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just in the house all day watching TV. You know, bills used to be about 3,000 a year. Now they're probably going to be about 5,000 a year. So as long as I have 5,000 to keep me going, then I don't really need that much. I might go on holiday every now and then, but yeah, I have all inclusive holidays like my own. It's I don't actually need money, and if I stopped working, I would be fine for at least 2 years. The problem is if I stopped working for 2 years and find that nothing happens in 2 years, then I'm just going to be penniless and just really regretting not working because yeah, it's awful not having much money and feeling like things are going up in value and your money's becoming less it's worth less and less each year. And but yeah, I don't know because I saw a client the other day, and I do like him, but I'm not really. I mean, I don't like him. If I didn't have to see him again, I wouldn't. Like, I'm literally just meeting him because I want to do something. And then he took me to McDonald's. So he was going to take me somewhere else, but it was after 11, and everywhere around here closes at 11. So we didn't get anywhere else. But yeah, that's like the nicest thing about the job is that you meet people and that sometimes they bring food or buy you food. I think that's the thing that I love most about the job. Although I do prefer Indian curries over because they're more expensive, but they also taste better, and there's kind of a more it feels more expensive if you're having a proper like Indian or something rather than just a pizza. But yeah, I am a bit undecided on whether I want one or not because some clients are really nice and they you just have the session and then they leave. Sometimes you have really interesting conversations and you kind of learn things or you feel like you feel like you like them. But then sometimes you just get people that just kind of are clearly they're just there because they want to wank. And yeah, I don't like those clients, but at the same time, they give you tons of compliments, and I don't really like that either. But I don't know, it's not like it's a bad job. Um, and I also like being massaged. That's the thing. A lot of my clients like to massage me, and I genuinely like being massaged. So it's, you know, I haven't had a massage in a few months because I've stopped working and I've seen a few, two or three. And yeah, I do like being massaged. So I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to do something because I'm watching TV and I'm watching songs and I feel like they're connecting with me, but not in a fully way. Like I feel like I connect a lot more to the words than I do to the character that's portrayed in the songs. I feel like a lot of times the songs just insult me, or I don't know. I'm trying to get a vibe on what people are thinking. Like I'm saying stuff, and I feel like a lot of people know and they believe, and they're going to help me create some sort of revelation and help with the population crisis. And so I see loads of songs or where people sound like they're helping me. But then again, I step back and think, are they going to help me, or do they just like making songs that kind of sound like or encourage suicide? In fact, a lot of them they look like they sound and they sound like they're encouraging suicide, but at the same time, if you see it on another way, like a lot of these words have double meanings, and you can't really quite work out, what's the creator's perspective, what they are hearing when they listen to these songs. And yeah, I don't know, it's just really confusing. And I don't want to work, but I don't like the idea of just doing nothing all day. I do like being massaged, and to make money whilst doing that, whilst, not like I've spent so much money on the holiday, on the LA. I spent about £2,000 on that holiday, and I spent about 21,000 on this. Still got the skirting to go in. The guy was going to come down the other day, and then he was going to charge £330 for skirting and silicone. And I was just like, that's too much. And then I found someone else to do it for £250, and they were going to come just this evening. And on the way to me, they've had a car crash, and their car is a bit mashed up. So it's really annoying, bad luck, and it happens a few times. Like, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so I just don't know what to do. If I knew 100% that I'm going to be on a TV show soon, and that, or I really need to get onto Big Brother, and even that, like, I tell people that I want to be on it. Why do you want to be on it? I was like, I'm God. Someone wrote to me saying, saying they know they believe that I'm God, and I said I want to get onto Big Brother. And you're like, why would you want to be on that? So people can know me. Like, why else would I want to be on that show? I feel like all these songs are portraying lots of different sides, or lots of different versions of me, but they're not like necessarily me, but they're obviously talking about a girl who's different and weird, but at the same time, like, I don't feel like I'm really similar to a lot of them, and I feel like if people got to know me first, then they could have an opinion of me. Might not always be the right one, but that's kind of that's why they need to see me first. And I just want to know the date. That's all I want to know. I just want to know, when is it going to happen? Is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? Now, I keep seeing this 10 years thing, and okay, I met Martin on March the 11th, but technically I didn't start believing that I was God. The first time I believed that I was God was the 13th of June 2013. And I know there's a lot of talk about like the last year's tribulation, and so maybe the 10 years is basically including that last year. So maybe something is going to happen soon, and I think there's definitely going to be 6 months of kind of worse trouble, like where people are just worshipping nonsense. But I don't even know if I really have such a bad view on humans because of them ignoring me for 10 years. And it's not just that, it's just like them ignoring for 10 years. And then I've got a ton of people who I tried to tell them I'm Christ, and they just can't accept it, can't believe it, but they think I'm special, and they can't stop thinking about me all the time. And I don't know, it's like really bizarre how they wouldn't think that I'm Christ, considering everything that they've said. It was just like, are you not hearing your own voice or whatever? But yeah, they're not interested in my religion. I have given, like, there's one that driver guy. I've had from Birmingham to Southampton. It's about a 3-hour drive. Now, I was talking to him about most of that time about what was going on, and then like a week later, he basically had no clue of what I said. And just like, do you not remember anything I said? And then I've met him quite a few times, and I always add a little bit more to the story, and he always says yes, and it just doesn't believe me still. It's just like people just forget everything I say when they walk out the store and stuff, and then it's just, anyway, I don't want to think about that. I need to decide whether or not I want to see clients. Now, I definitely, if someone knows about me, if you've been watching these videos and you know that I'm a God, then don't contact me. 100% do not come. And I don't even want cameras. If I don't know, I said before, maybe there is cameras, and I don't want there to be cameras in my house right now, because I'm angry that no one's helping me, and I'm angry that I'm having to do. If I'm going back to massage, I do not want people or those sessions being sprayed out everywhere. It's not nice, and it's not something that I would want people to see. It's not something I want to do, but it's something I have to do just because I've got nothing else to do. It's just that, or just watch. I'm on my own all the time, and I'm just fucking bored. And then it's just like, well, what else can I do? Oh, let's do a massage, earn a little bit of money, spend time with a guy that I don't like, and that's just my life. And kind of when people know that I'm a god, and when I've got the money to be able to stop doing this, I just want to, like, it's weird though, because everything I say, I feel like I can say it, and like also say the exact opposite, and agree with both statements. So on one hand, I just want to live the rest of my life in complete isolation. I'm embarrassed that I've had to do this job. I'm embarrassed I've had to do this job whilst people know about it. I'm embarrassed that people have been making billions. Like some people can make £1 million from doing like a day's work or just a couple of posts. Or I just don't understand where you get that money, how that money can be given, or just promoting something. You can make millions of pounds doing something, and yet I'm having to do £50 or £55 an hour for something that involves quite a lot of work, and yet to know that I should, you know, I'm being used by the world at the same time. You know, it's a huge amount of humiliation, and I don't think I'll ever be able to look people in the face properly and know that they knew that I was doing this whilst also being a god who kind of, you know, it's horrible. It's really, really horrible. And so on one hand, I'm just like, I don't want to do this job. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, what else am I going to do? Sit in a room and just worry about what happens if nothing happens in August or September, or what happens if nothing happens by next year, and how long is it going to be? You know, I've done this before. I've done this all before. In 2013, I was convinced it was going to be a couple of months, couple of weeks. And that wasn't. It just, the torment just seemed to get worse and worse, and no one seemed to actually know anything about me. And yet they're obviously making songs about me, and yet no one seemed to know anything about me, because most of them were completely wrong at the time. Because I was like, I'm not like this, I'm not like this, I'm not like this. And yeah, I was convinced you were doing that because you were going to help me, you know, stop doing massage and stop doing this living this shit life that I'm living. And then no one did. And it's like I'm back in that situation. Okay, it's slightly different because I don't have rent, so that's a relief. You know, before it was worse because I was worrying about rent, and now I'm not worrying about rent. But yeah, I think after this, I want to either live in complete isolation, or I want a camera crew. Well, a camera, but I guess you have to have the camera crew along with it, and then do some sort of reality TV where I can show things that have happened in my life. But I know they're completely opposite things. Living in isolation and never talking to anyone again, or having some sort of documentary where everything that I do is filmed and exposed to the public. But I don't actually want to know or have anything to do with the public. But they're still kind of opposite things, because if you're living in isolation, you probably have nothing to film. And I don't actually want to live in isolation. That's why I'm living in now. I'm trying to get out of it. But I just hate the world for doing this, and I just don't know. I don't know.